Please welcome Kai Sato, co-founder, FieldLevel.
I know you like my style. You like how I break it down. I know you like my style. You like how I break it down.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As the ominous voice pointed out, I'm Kai Sato, and I'm a co-founder of FieldLevel, which has become one of the most powerful social networks in sports because we fixed recruiting, and it has unlocked opportunities for us to work with many other large companies within the sports ecosystem. You see, recruiting had some issues. It had this fundamental big data problem because you have millions of kids that want to go play in college, and it simply wasn't feasible for college coaches to see all of them. We knew that because we were those kids. We went to these small boarding schools, and while we excelled in sports, won MVP awards, lots of accolades, we ultimately went unrecruited. But when we teamed up at USC, Brenton Sullivan, my co-founder, and I realized that we could have played a lot of different places. Brenton walked onto the varsity baseball team, but social networking was really coming on strong. We had this epiphany. We realized that social networking, if applied appropriately, could fix recruiting. So just in case you guys aren't intimately familiar with recruiting, fundamentally you have college coaches that are responsible. Their entire job is to recruit the right athletes so that they can win games, not dissimilar from this type of team. And the real challenge that they face is that they are limited by time and by budgets. On the other side of the equation, you have these high school athletes. High school athletes are doing everything possible, frantically trying to gain the attention of a college recruiter. So they go online, they do it themselves. They start sending all these YouTube links out. But ultimately, it's just spam. You have millions of kids spamming a real small group of college coaches. And then there are even uglier parts of it, where you have these recruiting services that are charging parents thousands of dollars to represent their child to a college coach, not recognizing that there's an inherent conflict of interest there. So what FieldLevel recognized is that there was one critical constituent that was missing. That was the high school coach. Just like applying for a job or raising venture capital in many of your professions, it's all about having a credible reference. You want to hear from people that you trust, that are risking their name and reputation. And that's exactly what happens on FieldLevel. And it's not just our opinion. One of the biggest names in the game, Urban Meyer, the coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, says the high school coach knows. And these are things beyond playing ability. It's work ethic, it's character, discipline, leadership qualities. So what FieldLevel has done is move that recruiting process online. A lot of people like to liken it to LinkedIn. It's this private social network that's tailored to the needs of sports, where these college coaches, high school coaches can come together and network in a private environment. All the athletes have to be invited by a coach and privately assessed by that high school coach. And it's extremely powerful for the college coaches angle because they are able to see orders of magnitude increases in the number of qualified athletes that are recommended to them and that they can search for given a range of criteria. What's also pretty uniquely valuable for college and high school coaches is that this is their network. In fact, it's the largest directory in any sport that we go into, and when college and high school coaches go on new job interviews, they don't pull up LinkedIn. They pull up FieldLevel to show their networks. So to give you a sense of where we are today, baseball was our first sport. We work with over 95% of college baseball teams in America, 8 major league scouting departments, including the Los Angeles Dodgers. Our next sport was football. Within 1 year of launch, we launched at the beginning of 2014, we'd gotten over 85% of college football teams in America, including Coach Meyer's Ohio State Buckeyes. After that, we've reached similar market penetration in men's lacrosse, basketball, and soccer. So today, FieldLevel's footprint is global and growing. We work with over 24,000 college and high school teams in over 22 countries. We have facilitated over 2 million connections between college and high school coaches. And most importantly, in the last 2 years alone, over 16,000 high school athletes have been successfully recruited through FieldLevel. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are as excited about it as we are because that is literally the motivating factor. That's what makes us high five in the office. Because these athletes, sometimes they're coming from as far away as Australia, or other ones come from poorer families. and we're able to help them get athletic scholarships. Or they're the first person in their family to go to college. So FieldLevel has made all of that happen. As we touched on a little bit though, our core business is recruiting, and there's a lot where we can continue to grow. Many other sports, many other countries, millions of athletes. But what we're able to now do is provide value to other companies in sports. One way is through content. As we all know, content is king. And those 16,000 athletes that get recruited are actually stories. And they're actually recording their commitment to a USC or a UCLA or a Notre Dame on FieldLevel. And what's really unique about this is we know more about the recruitment than anyone. We also know about it before it happens for the larger media landscape because we made it happen. Our platform was instrumental in driving that. And that's not just at the local level. These are sometimes huge national stories. And we've actually started to notice more and more writers following us on Twitter, and then we tweet out these commitments. Sometimes they'll grab it and put it behind their paywall. So we envision being able to utilize this and rightly tell better stories about athletes all over the world. Another area beyond content is data. See, especially with apparel, it's become synonymous with recruiting. We all know that Nike and Under Armour and Adidas are in this arms race to spend millions of dollars sponsoring college and high school teams across the country. And it's such a part in the recruiting dialogue that athletes love to input what their favorite gear is. Lacrosse shafts, baseball cleats. And what it is it's a natural talking point with these college coaches because the college coaches are talking about what they can offer you. What gear can we give you here at Louisiana State? So what FieldLevel does is starts to aggregate this information, and we've created the brand dashboard. The brand dashboard starts to help really large brands in sports understand what their penetration is amongst the most sought-after athletes, the most coveted recruits, the most influential in the country. And so, for instance, you can see in this quick example that Nike may be the most preferred cleat in baseball, but New Balance is second. So this is information that's far more penetrating and far more targeted than Gartner or Forrester specific to this area. And what it's ultimately going to do on the athlete side is reinvent the digital marketing category and open the door for more authentic, two-way communication between brands and the coveted athletes that they're trying to reach. So what had really started with our personal anguish in not getting recruited, many could say that we're still extremely bitter about it, has culminated in helping athletes and coaches around the world. And even more so, we're very fortunate because we've been a profitable company for a couple of years, and we are now looking for opportunities to work with some of the biggest brands in media and apparel on the planet. But most importantly, if you guys can take one thing away tonight, we ask only that if there are any aspiring high school athletes that you know, make sure that they're aware of FieldLevel. They know why it's different and how it can help them. Thank you.